The term waterboarding is often classified as a form of torture. However, Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary defines waterboarding as an interrogation technique in which water is forced into a detainee's mouth and nose as to induce the sensation of drowning. The term torture is nowhere to be found in that definition. In the past, the Central Intelligence Agency, also known as the CIA, has used waterboarding as an interrogation technique on captured al-Qaeda terrorists. Many people believe that the United States should not condone the use of waterboarding and an interrogation method, as they believe that it is a form of torture and is inhumane. This would result in the United States not being able to obtain information from these captured terrorists. National Intelligence Director Dennis Blair publicly declared that through the use of waterboarding, the United States obtained high-value information regarding terrorism. Yet the United States has historically declared waterboarding as a war crime. In April of 2009, President Barack Obama officially banned the use of waterboarding on captured al-Qaeda terrorists. The United States of America must sanction the use of waterboarding of terrorists in order to obtain needed information that will help maintain homeland security, protect the lives of Americans, and aid in
quite simple. It begins with taking a rag or a towel. You put it over the detainee's mouth and nose. Just completely cover his face with a towel. Then you give him an object. We're using tennis balls, but they use anything. You put it in both of his hands. And this is so that when the feeling is too uncomfortable, he just drops it and the process of waterboarding stops. So what would happen here if we were actually going to waterboard him, you would take a bucket of water and you'd start by just putting a couple of drops and dousing the towel. This is just to get it wet and allow everything to seep through. So after a couple of seconds, we'd ask some questions and then we'd take the bucket, we'd pour it. And most people last like 14 seconds under this and then they throw the weights down because it's too uncomfortable. And then in order to break Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, he had to go for several minutes before he would actually stop, and that's when he told us all the information regarding the 2005 attacks on
Mark Thiessen joins us at the table now. Mr. Thiessen, here is a reprint of your op-ed that you wrote initially for the Post. This is the New York Post write-up. The headline, Proof. Interrogations made us safer. Tell us why you feel the way you do.
Well, first of all, it's just simply a fact. If you read the documents that were released, you go through all these pages of information about the techniques, and there's pages and pages of unredacted information about the techniques. And then all of a sudden you get to the section where they start talking about the results. And there's a brief section, and it says, let me read you a couple of things of what it says. It says, quote, this is from a May 30 memo, 2005 memo. It says, the CIA believes the intelligence acquired from these interrogations has been a key reason why al-Qaeda has failed to launch a spectacular attack in the West since 11 September 2001. In particular, the CIA believes that it would have been unable to obtain critical information from numerous detainees, including Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Abu Zubaydah, without these enhanced techniques. Before the CIA used enhanced techniques, KSM resisted giving any answers to questions about future attacks, simply noting, soon you will find out. Imagine you're the interrogator in front of the mastermind of 9/11, and you're standing there, and you ask him, what's the next attack, and he says, you'll find out, meaning when it happens. But once the techniques were used, interrogations have led to specific actionable intelligence, as well as a general increase in information about al-Qaeda. And what that means is, and then it cites a specific event, the West Coast plot. KSM had a plan after 9/11. Osama bin Laden's original plan for 9/11 was it was going to be multiple attacks on the East Coast and the West Coast at the same time, and he split them up into 2 attacks. And they decided to do just the 9/11 attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon on the first day, and they were going to do a follow attack on the West Coast. And the information that we got after Khalid Sheikh Mohammed underwent these enhanced techniques stopped the attack that was going to be on the Library Tower in Los Angeles. So without this program, there would be a hole in the wall in Los Angeles to match the one in New York.
So what's your opinion on waterboarding? What do you think about it?
Well, you know, lately a lot of people have been saying that we shouldn't do waterboarding because America should stand above the rest of the world in justice. But I feel like if we don't do everything necessary to get all the information we need, we'll be a step behind everyone else. And like in World War II, we tried to stay out as long as we could, but when we went into the war, we used everything we could to win. And not using waterboarding is just like not using a tool that you can use to win.
Thank you.
So what do you guys think about waterboarding?
I think it's necessary for the safety of American lives.
Terrorists want to destroy our country, so we should use any means necessary to stop them.
I completely agree. Any other thoughts?
That what we should do, terrorists should die by any means necessary. Americans should do anything possible to kill every last living terrorist.
Thank you very much.
The United States is in a war against terror, and we must use every resource necessary in order to gain an advantage over the enemy. In the war, the United States cannot and should not afford to lose the opportunity to gain information that will directly protect American lives. In Iraq, American lives are lost every single day from simple and avoidable roadside bombs. If we can learn how and what terrorists use to make these bombs and plant these bombs, we can gain an advantage to save lives and win the war. Overall, the use of waterboarding will save American lives and aid in military efforts. Everyone remembers what happened on September 11, 2001. Lives were lost and families were torn apart. These tragedies could have been avoided if the United States was able to use advanced interrogation techniques on captured terrorists. We cannot afford to let another tragedy happen again.
This is Andrew and Zach. They're a gay couple that live on the street.
Hey, so what do you guys think about waterboarding? Should it be allowed?
If you have a turban and a beard, it should happen.
So what do you bros think about waterboarding?
We should do it to Arabs and homosexuals.
So what do you bros think about waterboarding?
Hey, so what do you guys think about waterboarding?
I think it's a good idea. Right?
Yeah, if you're brown, you're gonna get cut down.
So,
Well, you cool, man. Get my dog out of your mouth.
Steve, why are you naked?
Hello, this is Kevin Bolger here with Andrew Ledbetter and Zach. I'm a faggot, they check. You guys think waterboarding saves American lives?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Why do you think so?
Because we did slaves and America was free back then.
So what do you guys think about waterboarding?
It's necessary for America.
So what do you guys think about waterboarding?
We should do it to
I think we should do
Barack
more
Obama.
than waterboarding. I think we should torture the shit out of them, chop their fingers off until they fucking break.
Until they break? If they were to
Shoot
have
their
fingers
knees.
to break if you cut their fingers off.
Until they break, like, you know what I mean, break, until they tell us what we want.
You charge.
So what do you think about waterboarding?
Fuck it!
Hey, so what do you guys think about waterboarding?
Waterboarding.
It's almost as good as slavery. I think it's necessary for the safety of America.
Why is that?
Because we need to teach them dirty Arabs a lesson.
I don't think that's anymore.